What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be putting on some wheel spacers and possibly dialing in some camber. Alright guys, so I got these hub-centric adapters from eBay. They are 25mm 4x100 to 4x100. They're just thick enough, they're 25mm or 1 inch. That will allow me to get past the regular length, the stock length of the stud, and allow me to bolt my wheels on there. Now, I get them from eBay. I know I've heard horror stories of these falling apart or breaking or whatever, but I have never had an issue. I've been running them for a year and a half now with absolutely zero issues. They still look like new. So, well, I've been running them on the back, not these ones obviously. But these were shipped to me, and as you can see here, they are bolted together, which is no big deal. I guess make them close together so you can ship them cheaper. But they are bolted so tight that I have to use an impact gun to get them off. I literally tried using a ratchet and I cannot do it, like a big ass ratchet too. So I'm kind of annoyed at that, but whatever, I'll go ahead and get these apart. All right, so don't mind the brake dust. It's been like a week since I've washed my car, honestly, not gonna lie. But first things first, I'm gonna go ahead and get the car jacked up and the wheel off. I don't have too much time, so I'm gonna try to bust this out pretty quick. I'm going to try to meet up with some friends and we're going to go down to Woodward. So let's go ahead and get this going. I'm going to let the air out of this front bag so that when we let the car down, I'll be able to see what it's like kind of at ride height and air it out. Probably not all the way air it out, but you know. So as you can see here, they're perfectly hub centric, so like there's no movement up and down or left and right, anything like that. And because they are the inch spacers, you can see the factory studs don't stick out past it. I had 15 mils on here before, and I had to put in aftermarket studs, which wasn't too bad. I just don't feel like doing it again, and I know that I can fit these wheels with a 25, so we'll make it work. Alright, so these are on. I'm going to torque them to 100 foot-pounds because I want to make sure that they never, ever, ever, ever fall off. So I'll go ahead and do that now. Alright, so I got the wheel on there now. I'm going to go ahead and torque it down. I torque it down to 90 foot-pounds. I think that's more than they ask for. But I always go a little bit more just to be safe. I don't know. Alright, so now that it's torqued down, let's let it down. See how the fitment is at ride height, and then I'll try to lower it a little bit more and see how it sits aired out. That's probably about ride height right there. That's a decent amount of poke. I doubt that that's going to tuck in when I lower it some more, so I'll probably have to add a degree or two of camber. Right now it's about 0 camber at ride height in the front, maybe 2 or 3 in the back, so might have to just even it out a little bit. But let's see what happens if we let it down further, if it hits the fender or not. Yeah, definitely needs some camber. That's aired out all the way right there. Needs quite a bit actually. Well, not too much, probably like a degree or two, so we'll go ahead and start working on that. Alright, so here's a little update. I got it on jack stands, so I can access these camber arms in here and adjust them in just a little bit. I'll show you how I do it evenly on both sides. I have no clue how much camber I'm ever running. I just know how to make it even. So I'll show you what I do there, and then if I have time I'll get to adjusting the toe a little bit. I'll show you how I do that as well. But just, I got a second. This is that Hudson, the one car you guys haven't seen yet. It's a 1950, and it's pretty clean. I mean, it's old, but paint job's got some flaws, but the interior is pretty much mint. I'll show you guys that. It's really nice. My dad just redid it, so pretty cool. Definitely a cool car. And then Mustang's up here. All right, let's get back to work. So I busted all these loose underneath. This is a sliding ball joint. This is a Skunk 2 one. But it doesn't really fit too well in here. I had to grind some stuff down because this is not a Skunk 2 control arm. So I might need 2 hands to try to loosen this, but I'm going to try to show you guys how I adjust this and get them equal on both sides. So I need more camber, so I'm going to go ahead and push the wheel in. Oh, as you can see, it actually slides pretty easy. So what I'm going to do for both sides is I actually have the 17mm socket, and to make it even, I'm going to push this in and stick the socket in there and then let it come back onto the socket like that. And then actually I'm going to make it kind of make sure it's flat on there, and then just tighten it down and do that on both sides. And then the camber is going to be even on both sides. I know there's differences between just between the sides with the control arms and the steering knuckles and stuff, so it's never going to actually be perfect unless you get an alignment, but it's close enough, and I'm able to do my own toe, so it should be, the tires should wear just fine. Alright, so here's what it looks like at ride height after adding camber. Not bad, not too much poke, literally just the tiniest amount of camber. Now let's air this side out, see what happens. And that is what we were looking for right there. That is perfect, or pretty damn close. Now that's as low as it goes too. That is some tight fitment right there. It doesn't really go any lower than this in the front. The air ride used to be on that black car over there, and they actually cut out underneath the hood where the control arms come up into the engine bay. They actually cut that out so the control arms could come up all the way through and it would go lower. I don't really feel like doing that on this car because that's still pretty damn low. I mean, it'd be cool, but I just don't want to cut. I just don't feel like cutting that. So let's air out the other side, see what happens here. We'll go take a look at that side as well. Ooh, alright, this side needs some work for sure. Mostly right here, as you can see, it bends in a little bit. I pulled this side out after I rolled it in, going over a bump on the freeway. But yeah, as you can see, it's really sitting on the tire right here and bulging it out. So I have a couple choices. I could either add some camber or roll that out a little bit. I'm probably just going to roll it out a little bit so that it fits. I don't think that'll be an issue, so that's probably what I'm going to do. Alright, so here's the deal. If you have a stance car, you need one of these. If you don't have one, you need to have access to one. Trust me, I've done the whole baseball bat, phone book thing. Nothing even touches one of these. It is so great. And you also need one of these. These are important. These are cheap. You can get them anywhere. These are like $100 or $110 or something like that, straight from Eastwood. So just do yourself a favor and get one. I don't like advertising that I have this because then everybody wants to ask me for it, but yeah. Alright, so get one of these. I'm gonna go ahead and roll the fender now. Okay, so the fender is rolled. Not the best job, but it's really hard to roll a damaged fender, but I'll probably do a video on a car whose fenders have never been rolled to show you guys how at some point. But the fender's rolled, so let's air out and see what happens. Alright, so that is a much better, tighter fit. But I'm pretty sure this side just needs a little bit more camber still. So I'll go ahead and jack it back up, adjust the camber in a little bit. As you can see, that's how it sits on this side. And then here's how it sits on the other side. It's in a decent amount more. So I think I'm just gonna get maybe one size socket up, 18 mil or even a 19 mil to do the camber on the other side. I want the fitment somewhat kind of like the driver's side, so I'll get working on that now. It's getting dark again. So much for meeting up with friends, but I'm gonna get this done. Okay, so I adjusted the camber on the other side. I used the 19 mil, and now we're just gonna air it out and see what happens. Hopefully it fits right. All right, so let's go over here and take a look at this side. And that's actually pretty spot on. Yeah, this side is good now. All right, now we just got to get it back up to ride height and adjust the toe. All right, so as some of you may know, it's a little bit hard to get in alignment when you have a stance car. You got to take it to somebody who won't give you shit, who won't give you a hard time for having camber or stretched tires or whatever, or being too low. There's a few places around me that'll do it. One place charges too much, other places usually booked, so I have a hard time getting in there. I tried going to a Midas once. They looked at my car and they went, nope, not touching it. So I bought these. These are plates that are made for aligning your toe. So they touch the outside of your wheel. That one's not really touching, so better get that good. And then you have tape measures that go underneath. They clip into it and they go through to the other side, and you just pull them tight and you measure the toe. It's really, really simple. It's tedious because you have to make adjustments all the time. Like, you have to measure your toe, then jack your car up, make the adjustments, set it back down, roll it back, then forward, then measure your toe again. But it's a good way to align your car so you don't go through tires if nobody's willing to align it. So as you can see, I have tons of toe in right now. Right now we're at just around 72.5 inches there, and over here we're at around 74 inches. So there's about 1.5 inches. The fronts are about 1.5 inches closer than the backs of the wheels, so tons of toe in. So I'm gonna go ahead and adjust that now. Okay, so when I'm adjusting the toe, what I want to do is I want to bring this back side of the wheel in. So I want to bring these in. To do that, I'm going to turn this to the left, which will essentially be turning this outer tie rod end to the right, bringing it down onto the rack. Now I want to do this evenly on both sides. So what I normally do is I pick something to line the wrench up with. So if I put the wrench on here, I can kind of say it's lined up with this up here, and then I can move it forward until I touch the suspension, and that's going to be 1. So I'll do like 6 of those on this side and then 6 of those on the other side in order to keep it even. So for example, going from here, lined up with that, all the way over to like right there is going to be 1. And then I just got to keep repeating that over and over again. I'm going to do 5 more of those on this side, and then I'm going to do 6 of them on the other side. So I'll go ahead and do that really quick. Alright, after about an hour of trial and error, give or take, maybe 6 times up and down, a little bit tedious, but check that out. That's on the one side, and on the other side, it's pretty much dead even. So toe is at 0. My tires will wear normal now, and that's pretty much it for today. So I have the so far we did the put the spacers on, added some camber, rolled the fenders, and set the toe. Pretty successful day. Alright guys, so that's the end of this video. Next time we'll probably work on the EG. I got some parts coming in for it. I have some other parts that I already have for it. Gonna be making it look a little bit better as well. Either that, or I do still have to do the rear strut mount on the EK. So stay tuned. Either way, I'm sure it'll be a good video. All right, well, thanks guys, and peace.